Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm sorry for taking so long getting this video together. I had some problems with my audio interface that I was using as a mic to record these, so I'm just using my phone speaker. If it sounds different, that's why, but it's going to be clear enough, I think, and that way we won't have to wait even longer to do this. So I'll be getting back on track with the 1 or 2 videos a week here. So we're continuing about learning songs by ear, memorizing, being able to hear changes and big chunks of the harmony and anticipate them. And a really big one, it's not going to take that long today, is the turnaround to the 2 chord. We talked about the 4 chord leading us back to the 1 chord. We talked about the 3 chord acting as the 1 chord, things like that. This is going to be something that you're going to see towards the end of sections in the song. So we're going to be using the song Satin Doll as an example because it starts on the 2 chord of the song. We could just as easily use Scrapple from the Apple or any song that starts on the 2 chord. Many songs have the 2 chord in the 3rd bar from the end of a section. So like There Will Never Be Another You, because that's leading us to the 1 chord as in the 2nd to the last bar of the song. Doesn't really matter where it is, all these turnarounds will be the same, and they're interchangeable. So if the bass player is playing 1 turnaround and you're not sure, you know the 2 chord's coming but you don't know what the turnaround is, most of these will match up in such a way that they'll work together and they won't sound too wrong if you mix one with the other. If there's 2 people playing chords, then they might interact in kind of an interesting way. But the goal of this is not so much that you're just going to pick and choose. It's going to be that you're hearing the song, you hear it once, and then you'll recognize one of these turnarounds and be able to utilize them. So we're in the key of C because we're doing, not Scrapple from the Apple, we're doing Satin Doll. So key of C in the beginning of the song starts on the 2 chord, right? And the end of the A sections lead us back to the 2 chord again. Actually, the end of the first A section, the B section, and the last A section. So I don't even remember which one is written into the song. I think it's just 3 and 6. And that's the first turnaround. That's the one we're going to see the most, and it's part of all of these turnarounds we're going to be doing, except for when there's a tritone substitution, but even then it's still based on just having a 3 and 6 leading you to the 2 chord. So first a little background on why the 3 and the 6 come in front of the 2. This might be old news to some of you, I'll be quick about it. So if 2 is D minor in this case, let's pretend for a second this is our target, right? So let's just call it 1 for a second, like if it was a song in D minor, like Alone Together or something like that. So its 2 chord would be E minor, right? Because D minor, D is 1, E is 2, and its 5 chord would be A. So if we play E minor and A7 and then D minor, that's basically like playing a 2-5-1 in D minor, right? So that's the 3 and the 6 chord. That's why we don't get this change with A minor as being with A as being a minor chord, because even though in the diatonic chord scale of C major we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 would be minor, it's not acting as a 6 like a relative minor. It's acting as a 6 that's actually leading us to the 2 chord, and that 6 is dominant because it is the 5 of the 2 chord. It's called a secondary dominant in classical theory and in jazz theory, but most of the time we just call it a dominant 6 chord in jazz. The 3 chord can be dominant too, because if E minor is the 3 chord, right? And if that leads us to the A chord, then E is the 5th of A. And then that's the 5th of D. Maybe we can make that dominant because that's the 5th of G. And we can continue that pattern. C is dominant, F is dominant, B flat is dominant, E flat is dominant, A flat's dominant. You know, we see that in lots of songs where you just get these chains of dominant chords. So that's the first thing worth mentioning. 3 and 6 are going to be in all the turnarounds, and the 6 is dominant. Really depends on what you're playing. Sometimes the 6 will be minor, sometimes it'll be dominant, sometimes the 3 is dominant. You just have to kind of listen. But that's not the important part here. It's the function and the order of these chords. So here's the first one. You can assume that all of these are 2 beats each to fit into a space of 2 measures. Some songs it might be full measure for each, but unless I'm saying otherwise, let's consider them both to be 2 beats each. So the first one have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then 2. In a 6 chord, I almost said 5 because it's the 5 of 2. So again, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then our 2, 5, 1. I'm just going to go down these in order, so if you want to grab a pencil and write these down, feel free, or you can just rewind. I'll put a timestamp in the beginning pointing to this because then get 5 minutes of talking, some people might want to skip it. So if you skipped it, welcome aboard. So the next one we're going to be doing, that's the only one that brings you straight up, like the chord scale like that. So 1, 2, 3, 6, and then the 2 chord. The only other one that brings you up first, it doesn't go up in order, it goes from 1 to 4. So we have 1 to 4, and then to 3, and then to 6. And the 4 chord could be major, sometimes it'll be dominant, so we would have 1, 4 as a dominant chord. And like I said, 3 could be dominant too. 6 is going to be dominant every time in this case because it's the 5 of 2. So in that case, one more time with that, 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Excuse me. So those are the two that bring you up the neck. And you can also have tritone substitutions in here. They're not their own separate thing. So let's use that one as an example. 1, 4, 3, flat 3, which is the tritone substitution of the 6 chord. It would be E flat in this case. So that would be 1 is C major 7, playing F7 as the 4 chord. 3 is E minor, or E7 I'm playing. E flat 7 is the tritone substitution, it's the flat 3 in that case. So we'd have 1, 4, 3, flat 3, and then 2. And you can do these tritone subs in any of these progressions, particularly with the 6 chord. All right, so now the other ones that we have are going to lead us down to the 6 chord, which then brings us to the 2 chord. So those are the two that bring us up. We have 1, 2, 3, 6, and we have 1, 4, 3, 6. Sorry, I'm wanting to play substitutions, but I'm trying to keep it strict here. So I'm going to start up here for these ones because we need to lead ourselves down. We don't have to do that down here. I like to use open strings and stuff, but in this example I'm going to try to not do that and just make it clear going back down the neck. So the first one's really easy to remember. It's probably the easiest to remember out of all of them, and it's just going 1, 7, flat 7, 6. So we'd have and all the chords after the 1 chord are dominant in that case. So major 7, dominant on the 7, dominant on the flat 7, dominant on the 6. The next one is very similar. We just skip the 7 and go right to the flat 7. So 1, flat 7, 6, and then 6 again. And what you could do there if you want to is do 6 as a sus chord and then resolve it to a normal 7th chord. Sorry, do 6, the A7 chord, play A7 sus, and then play A7. The chord quality 7, I'm trying to make a distinction between the function of the 6th chord or the 7th chord. I'm going to have to be quick because my food is beeping. So that would be with the sus chord. We'd have 1, flat 7, 6 as a sus chord, and then 6 as a normal dominant chord. That same one, instead of, we could put the 3 in front of the 6 if we wanted to. 1, flat 7, 3, and then 6, and then 2, 5, 1. Which ones am I forgetting? That's pretty much all of them. You can add the tritone substitution for the 6 in any of those that you want to. This one, by the way, the one that we just did, if we have this, the 7 chord is the tritone substitution of the 4 chord, right? So that's just related. The flat 6 is the tritone substitution of the 3 chord, right? And then we're just down to the 6 chord. So really this is just the first one, or the second one that we talked about, but with tritone substitutions. So, so explore with it. I don't think there's really any more. If I think of any, I'll put them in the description. I think I got distracted by the oven beeping, but I don't think I'm skipping anything. Just think for a second. No, that's all of them. So practice these all in all 12 keys. Do them in different songs. Like if you want to do There Will Never Be Another You, that's a nice one to have at the end. So if we have, and with the melodies, it's nice too if you hum them or sing them as you do it. So if we have or if we do a different one, the 1, 2, 3, 6. And that one was with the tritone substitution. So 1, 2, 3, flat 3 is the tritone substitution of the 6th chord. All right, well, if you have any questions, let me know. If tritone substitutions are a question, I could do a video on those. I'm kind of assuming people have heard of them already. A lot of resources out there about them. But I'm happy to do a video on that if somebody would like me to. Any other topics you'd like me to go over, let me know. We'll continue this within the week with another video. And good luck to you all. Have fun practicing and have a good day or evening. Take care.